My name is Keeaumoku Kapu. I live in Kaula Valley in Lahaina. I've basically live on lands that are kuleana lands that are passed on through generations, from the crown all the way till today. I guess one of the key issues, because my whole life has a lot to do with that perspective of being a part of a place from generation to generation. My whole spin on this campaign is to have people realize the significance as to why it's important that we start incorporating the island concepts, on how we need to look at past traditions and how we need to use that island concept based upon our future generations tomorrow.
West Maui has been the site of several large fires in recent years. If elected to the council, would you support full funding of the Air One helicopter service, or, given the tough financial climate, advise the department to explore other options for emergency funding?
Sure, I'll definitely figure out other opportunities too as well. Not only support the funding for the helicopter services, but also everything that has to do with emergency purposes, because the west side basically is one of those key elements. You know, they've been talking about an acute care facilities on the west side for a long time, which sort of intervenes in the state kind of jurisdictional things. So as for the county and its constituents and what they're responsible for under the public trust doctrine, we need to make that a priority to make sure that our fire departments and our emergency crews need whatever they need. The budget, basically, when you start talking about budget, you start talking about dynamics in politics. I would support it 100%. And whatever needs to be done to make sure that we have our people, our emergency teams out there for the benefit of the public constituents.
It's been discussed about having a second hospital on the island. Do you think the establishment of a second critical care facility on Maui would help serve outlying communities, or would it deplete resources from the current Maui Memorial Medical Center?
That's kind of hard, because I think it would help out the west side. In fact, any suburban area that doesn't have an acute facilities. I mean, because when things happen, we always talk about anytime there's a major accident on the highway, we don't have the facilities to accommodate even Maui alone, so we start, airlifting them to Oahu. So it's definitely a need, and whether or not it's going to take away, I guess, the revenues, or how it's going to deplete from people utilizing the main hospital over here, I think there's a way to create a discussion on how we can merge these entities together to try to see if we can manage that island concept to bring everybody together as one, not in acute care facilities that is only based upon certain people that can be only restricted to certain areas. I think it should be open to the majority, to everybody.
As for small business empowerment, given the current economic situation, what would you do to stimulate the economy and help small businesses thrive?
Stimulate the economy. You know, we talk about every time the county sits down with the development and tries to look at the preliminary plans on how the development is going to be suitable, the county's responsibility to look at the public. It's always kind of an odd situation for me to understand, why is the county always looking for open space? So the developers, normally they create these park settings of 4 acres to 6 acres and say, okay, we're going to give you this as a trade-off. I think those areas should be more of a green zone area to allow residents that can't be sustainable within the residences that they live in, because they live by stringent policies on the neighborhood boards or private homeowner associations, that may be an opportunity to allow the public constituents to have a green place to go so they can be sustainable themselves and be backed by the county. The county has some key elements in there on how that island concept can become a reality. What I see how Hawaii or how Maui is, we live in a veil. And the veil is that they feel that the county has a responsibility to protect their interests. So, hey, that's fine. But we, as a grassroots community, need to make some kind of effort to make sure that we hold them up to the conditions pertaining to what's right for us and our family generations tomorrow.
What are your thoughts on the restoration of Moku'ula after so many years of starts and stops? Is it worth the time and funding, or is valuable park space being held up in the process?
It's definitely worth the time and effort. I mean, I've been affiliated with the Friends of Moku'ula from the time that, I think 99, 2000 for about 3 years. I was a consultant to help Akoniakana, deal with the logistics in the county as well as the state, and we did programs all over the state to share its importance as to why Moku'ula needed to return. We live in an island that has a specific character behind it, and the character basically is the kingdom of the crown. When you're looking at the district where it is, it's Historic District 1. So when you're talking Historic District 1, they built a baseball field over there. They've, throughout the years, found that what had happened over there was basically, to me, I look at it as it's genocidal. Yeah, that it's a strong educational component to allow our elders and our younger generations to tap into something that becomes the character and identity of that place. And many people all over the state of Hawaii can relate to those kinds of things, that it would broaden even the majority of the merchants that work in a town if this project was successful. Today we have a lot of hotels, a lot of storefront properties that use that as a catalyst to bring in tourism, but it's not built yet. The only Native Hawaiian nonprofit organization that has suffered over 20 years, yeah, on granting, on funding, on the Anna Grants program, all these kinds of things, that if we was to concentrate the efforts in there, then it'll be educational based, it'll be a cultural vehicle to have the merchants, consider that these things are valuable, which would boost the economy in their area as well by supporting what is of the past and why that place is significantly designated under Historic District 1.
And then finally, any closing thoughts? This is your opportunity to give contact information or any upcoming events surrounding your campaign.
I'm a really grassroots kind of guy. I had my campaign fundraiser. I fed everybody. My sons donated 5 pigs. They donated a cow. We just fed everybody Hawaiian food. Like I said, I'm grassroots. How to get in touch with me? Can either go on Facebook, punch in Keeaumoku Kapu, push search. There's a whole list of things as pertaining to what I've been involved in the past. And I would just like to, just send a message out there to not be fooled by, I guess, the promises that were made, that we need to really consider on looking at how these islands can be sustainable by the community's involvement in a process that we have been doing since 2007. That's the Ahamoku Act 212. And the reality is we need to find ways of not choosing the victor or the messiah that would represent us. We should step out there as public constituents to really voice our opinions as one if we really want to make a change for the betterment of tomorrow based upon this recession that we've been in. I don't believe there is a recession. I believe that there is corporate entities that is claiming that there is a recession. And when you vote, vote with your heart, not from the promise that candidates make. I'm not throwing an endorsement out there saying I am the guy, but as I look how politics is going right now and the amount of people that is running, for me, myself, I say I'll vote for nobody because we're going in the wrong direction.